What is going on, everybody? I'm sitting here cleaning all my guns after my Father's Day range shoot-a-palooza with the family here, and was working on the 1911 here and realized that I hadn't done a video on how to field strip a 1911, and they are a little different than most of your semi-automatic weapons. Any of you that own one know that for sure. But first things first, I will show you that this arm, our firearm, is empty, and then we'll get to how to field strip it. I got the safety up here. So with 1911s, I do have this little tool I picked up from the local gun shop that helps you get that bushing off to get the recoil spring out. To be honest, I very rarely use it. I don't find it to be any easier or less difficult than just pushing the spring cap down myself. In my cleaning kit, I got a bunch of different punches, so typically I take the flat side of a punch and just push this down. I'll try to turn the camera so you can see it. This part here pushes in, allowing this bushing to turn that releases the recoil spring. So even though I'm going to have to put it against the desk here to get the leverage to push this down, that is what I'm doing. I'm pushing this spring, this in. Here, I'll see if I can get it at this angle so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. See, it goes in. And then as I'm pushing it in, I'll turn this and it'll be able to release this spring then. So like I said, I just take the flat side of a punch, push it in, turn that out of the way. And now this whole guide rod spring can pop out. Now there's no tension on the slide anymore. So this bushing, I turned it clockwise to get the spring out. Now go back and turn it counterclockwise and you'll be able to pull it out and off the barrel. There is this little notch here. Turn it so you can see it. And that is what you're turning to line up to be able to pull it out of the barrel. All right, so now that that's done, that barrel and guide rod are just loose in there. So I can take my safety off, that way the slide will move because it's locked with that safety on. And what I'm wanting to do is, if you can see here, there's this indentation to where the slide release and slide lock catch, but there's this ever little tiny one right there. And that's the one you're going to want to line up at the top end of your slide release. When you do that, you can take this, the other side of the slide release, and push it in. That starts pushing that out, and then you can just grab it and wiggle it out. Now your slide is no longer locked onto the frame. At that point, got your frame. I'm going to put my safety back up to make sure I don't slam my hammer down. And then you can pull out your guide rod. And then your barrel, like where with most semi-automatics it pulls out, with a 1911 it pushes through the front. I already started cleaning this before I decided, oh, you know what? I should film this and show people. So you can kind of see that the barrel's already got some oil on it. I've already run a bore brush through there, lubed the outside of the barrel, took a little gun oil on a patch and kind of looped outside of the guide rod spring and wiped out the insides. Then with 1911s, you know, they are metal on metal. So I feel like, you know, making sure you get good lubrication on your rails is important because you are just all metal on metal there. So we'll do that, and then I'll show you guys how to put this bad boy back together. Drop, 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 drop. I kind of Just taking this, just propping it up here so it doesn't fall down. Okay, so I'm also going to put a little bit on a patch here. Kind of run some oil on the edge of this slide. Make sure it's got some oil up in there where it's going to start catching. Okay, so go ahead and put your barrel in. This little locking hole here where the slide release goes through, kind of want to make sure it's pointing forward there. You don't want it to get all hidden because you got to be able to slide this back through there, the slide release. So make sure it's pointing forward. Go ahead and slide it back in the barrel best you can. Your guide rod, you can see how this has the curved edge there that rides on the barrel. So you can slide that back in, let it sit on the barrel. I kind of keep it away from, sorry guys, I'm trying to make sure you can see this, away from this ring because it will push it back on you. So now that I kind of got all this hanging there, I flip it over holding my guide rod. So that way this just kind of starts dangling down there. And then as you take your slide, you have to take the safety down so it goes on. As you take the slide and you start pushing it forward, you're going to see, I don't know if I'll be able to catch it on camera. That would be amazing if I did because I can barely see it with my own two eyes. But as you start pushing it back, oh, it's right there at it. Let me see if I can find it there. You can see, there it goes. See, it lines up perfectly in there. You take this, slide release, put it right back in there. Now at least your barrel's locked in place. Just like we did when we took it apart, look for that tiny notch, not the big one. Push it all the way back to above the hole where the slide release goes in. Put the slide release right below your little indent. Sorry, this is weird, like doing it backwards, watching the camera while I do it, I apologize. And then you just push up and in, and it pops right in. Now, I push the slide back forward and then put the safety on again, and that locks my slide in place. That way, I can flip it up and work on putting the springs back in. So, you just take that spring and put it around the guide rod. Actually, you know what? It's easier if we put the bushing in first. So, you find that indent that we were talking about before. You have it slide down into the frame, slide, and turn it clockwise to get it out of the way. Slide your guide rod spring on there. I'll try not to shoot this up at you guys. And then push it down, and you can start the bushing to catch it on the edge. So now, there, it's focusing. You can see where it's catching it on the edge there. And then I just take the flat end of my punch, push that down again, and then I'm able to move the bushing the rest of the way over and capture it. And that is what I'm doing here. Okay, at that point, you are done. Your 1911 is oiled. It was cleaned before. I mean, it was nothing different than any other firearm. I cleaned out the barrel with a bore brush and some bore cleaner, scrubbed out any tough spots, ran some patches through it, and just wiped it down and oiled it. I'll also just kind of wipe off the outside here also, especially around the end of the firearm where it starts collecting gunpowder. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed. If you like what we're doing here, please like and subscribe, and we appreciate it. Everybody have a great day.